Hello and welcome to All Top 5s. Ouija boards. Some believe they're vessels of communication with spirits and even demons. Some believe that they're toys that fuel people's imaginations. Whatever the truth, and whatever you believe, there are some real-life, downright terrifying tales to explore. Number 5. In 2012, a 15-year-old boy from Texas stabbed his 14-year-old friend with a 4-inch knife, attempting to murder him. He told the police that a Ouija board made him do it. The boy had reportedly been using a Ouija board, though it's unclear with whom he had been communicating or how long he'd been using the board for. The police also stated that the 15-year-old had no mental health problems and no history of drug use, making the case more bizarre. The question is, what kind of person will attempt to kill one of their friends with a kitchen knife just because he believed a wooden board said that he should? It's an unlikely scenario, but that's where the Ouija board believers suggest perhaps it wasn't him at the time. Perhaps he was possessed by something he communed with in playing with the board. Spooky. The friend survived, though he had to spend 3 days in intensive care with ruptures to his intestines, so whether you believe in the paranormal or not, the outcome was very real and very serious. Number 4. This case is a little more bizarre. In the UK in 2015, Margaret Carroll and her daughter Katrina Livingstone ended up in hospital with severe injuries after a mysterious house fire, possibly because they attempted to contact their dead dog. Yeah, I'll start at the beginning. Margaret's husband, Paul, had allegedly taken part in a Ouija board session a month before and claimed that someone or something at the time had instructed him to kill the family dog. He drowned the dog, Molly, in the bath and tried to hide the killing by chopping the dog's body up and putting it down a drain. That drain became blocked, however, and he was found out. The story gets even weirder though. Not long after this, Margaret and Katrina used a Ouija board on a Friday evening and reportedly were told that they were going to die. A neighbour confirmed this to the police. The next morning, a huge fire broke out in the house and firefighters rushed to get the blaze under control. Margaret and Katrina were found in the back garden with injuries completely unrelated to the fire. Really mysterious. They were put in critical condition at the hospital but were also arrested on suspicion of arson. But so many questions are unanswered. Whom were they trying to contact? The dog? Or something else? Why did they have injuries that had nothing to do with the fire? It all seems to come back to the Ouija board. We can only guess. Number 3. Also from the UK is the terrifying story of Angela Jackson, another warning story against the use of Ouija boards. In 2014, the mother of 2 had got hold of a board and held a séance with a group of friends. Apparently, she had been warned against using the Ouija board by her deceased father when she claims he spoke to her at a spiritual meeting from beyond the grave. Undeterred, she and her friends held the séance and the board spelled out, "Die, bitch." Angela laughed, thinking that her friends were playing a joke, but then the living room door slammed shut. Angela, now frightened, asked the supposed spirit, "Who are you?" And the letters spelled out, "I was murdered, just like you're going to be." After demanding a name from the entity, the board simply spelled out Satan, Satan. Now that's scary. Sometime after, Angela was in her house one evening when she heard a growl from behind her. The guttural voice spat, "Die, bitch." She spun around in time to see a man coming out of the shadows holding a claw hammer. Angela woke up in a hospital bed. She had a fractured skull. No one was ever caught for this assault, but her injuries were proof that it actually happened. Was the spirit really Satan, or some other malevolent soul that could predict an upcoming attack on Angela? Was the attacker just a violent coincidence, or was it a physical manifestation of the spirit she spoke with? Angela remains convinced all this happened as a result of messing with Ouija boards and warns other people about the evils that they can conjure up. Number 2. No video about Ouija boards would ever be complete without the case of Roland Doe, one of the most famous alleged cases of demonic possession. This case from the US in the 1940s directly inspired the novel and film The Exorcist. I discussed this case in a bit more detail in my Cases of Demonic Possession video, so go and check that out if you want to learn more. Roland was shown a Ouija board at a young age by his aunt. After she passed away, the family began experiencing weird sounds, moving furniture, and levitating objects whenever Roland was around. Roland was exorcised by a Catholic priest, whom Roland attacked with a bed spring. More experts visited Roland and claimed to witness a bed shaking, objects flying around, and Roland talking with a guttural growl and showing an aversion to holy objects. 2 more priests came to assist with another exorcism ceremony. Allegedly, marks began to appear all over Roland's body, including words like evil and hell. Later on in the exorcism, the mattress of the bed began to shake violently, and Roland broke a priest's nose during his violent outbursts. After this, he reportedly went on to live a normal life, free of whatever had possessed him. Although there were claims of exaggeration and religious scaremongering, and Roland himself was known to be a difficult child who often threw tantrums, it all stems from that initial experience with a Ouija board. We might never know how many times he used it or what happened during those sessions, but clearly something about the Ouija board set off a terrifying chain of events. Number 1. A few years ago in Mexico, a 16-year-old girl, Alexandra Huerta, picked up a Ouija board with her brother and cousin and attempted to contact her deceased parents. Alexandra was an orphan, so you can understand why she wanted to use a Ouija board to speak with them. Unfortunately, the seance didn't go the way she wanted. Alexandra had taken the natural drug, brahmansia, often used in shamanic ceremonies to aid communicating with the spirit world. As the 3 teenagers began to use the Ouija board after taking this drug, they started seeing horrifying visions and trying to self-harm, screaming and raving. This video of Alexandra herself was taken by paramedics.
¿De qué te ríes? ¿Y por qué te vas a morir? Ya, Alexandra, ya. Tranquila. Tranquila, ya.
It certainly looks like a possession, and it's fairly disturbing. The relatives of the 3 teenagers believe hands down that they were possessed by a spirit they conjured up using the Ouija board. They say Alexandra was speaking in a voice that wasn't her own, and can only have come from a demon. They also dismissed the whole thing being an overdose, claiming that the drug wasn't to blame, and was merely used as a mind-opening device that allowed a spirit through the Ouija board. It's difficult then with these conflicting reports to determine how much of the behaviour was drug-induced and how much was Ouija board-induced. I suppose it depends on what you believe, really, as with many of these cases. And that's it from all top 5s for this week. So it's a dark and dangerous game playing with a Ouija board, and so many stories are told of evil events coming about from them. What do you believe? Have you ever tried using one? Let me know in the comments, I'd be really interested to hear your views. Just remember that each person has different views and different opinions and beliefs, so let's all respect each other and get along. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the like button. If you really liked this video, please consider hitting the subscribe button. You'll be notified whenever I release a new video, which is every Tuesday. So peace and love to each and every one of you, stay away from the board, and I'll see you all next time on All Top 5s.